And Patrick, it seems like our local leaders are worrying that this track could possibly shift west.
It did since the 4 o'clock advisory. Not big, but it did shift a little bit further to the west. Not very many miles, I'd say maybe 20 to 30 miles, but every mile that we move this further west means worse weather for us, worse weather conditions. We'll get to that in just a second. Marco, devoid of any convection, it's been downgraded to a depression. These warnings are because of Laura, but as you can see, it moves to the west out in the Gulf of Mexico. And then Laura, it has just blown up very quickly. As you can see, it came off the coast within the last 2-3 hours, and all this convection is just blown up, rapidly intensifying. It looks like a lot of deep convection, very tall cloud tops, improving satellite signature. As this moves away, this will rapidly intensify, I think. So it's forecast to be a hurricane by tomorrow morning. Look at that, at 8 a.m. it'll be a hurricane, Cat 1. 85-mile-per-hour hurricane by Tuesday, tomorrow evening. Cat 2 coming up with winds of 100 miles an hour by Wednesday, 7 a.m. And then I put on Rita's track so you can see, get a little perspective if you went through it, give you a little idea of what we're seeing. Making landfall, now it looks like just west of Big Lake. Again, we're all within the cone of uncertainty. It could go anywhere in here. My tendency in thinking is still to the west. That is within the realm of possibility. If there's going to be any shift with this cone, it would be to the west at this point. So we're at 110 mile an hour. That is just below Cat 3 status, to put things in perspective. Then it goes right over the Sabine River, weakens to a Cat 1 by Thursday morning. It's a little bit slower now as there are hurricane watches in effect along the coastline of southeast Texas and also southwest Louisiana, as you can see from South Liberty, Chambers back over into Jefferson, Orange, and into southwest Louisiana, and then further inland, inland southeast Texas, Hardin, the lakes area, all under a tropical storm watch. As far as a storm surge watch in effect for Chambers, Jefferson, Orange, really the same areas that are under a hurricane watch. So again, they're forecasting 110 mile an hour, still could be a Cat 3. I think that's very reasonable. As you can see, at 111, it becomes a Cat 3, so I don't think that's much of a difference. So as far as the probability, this is new data, probability of tropical storm force winds of 39 miles an hour or higher continue to increase. Earlier this evening, we were at 70%. Now we're at 80% probability of seeing at least 39 mile per hour winds. As far as hurricane force winds, still holding at about a 30% probability, but notice those will be increasing as this continues to move off towards the north and west. So not too much of a change. Just last update, we had this track a little bit to the east. I'd give it maybe 10 to maybe 20 miles to the west, but still on the right side of where that track makes landfall is where the worst of the storm surge flooding is going to be, and close to the eye wall in through western Cameron Parish. Still, Bridge City, maybe 6-foot storm surge there, and over towards Sabine Pass at this point. We will have northwest winds according to that track at this point over southeast Texas, which is good. Don't want to get on the dirty side of this storm. Otherwise, there is a slight to moderate risk of flash flooding. I don't think that's going to be an issue. The storm is going to move quickly. I think we can deal with 3 to 5 inches because we're dry. We need rain. This is some good news. We just don't need the wind. So on the short term, looking at a fairly quiet night, looking at temperature dropping into the mid-70s across the area. And then tomorrow, with Marco further to the south, I want to go with about a 40 to 50% coverage of scattered showers tomorrow late. May not see that much. Otherwise, here's the latest high-res modeling in and around Cameron coming up late Wednesday night. These always come in at nighttime, don't they? And then it heads quickly to the north. That's the good news, is that this is going to be hauling to the north. So it won't sit over us and be as long of a residence time or as pronounced or as long of an effect over our area as Rita was. That's some good news. So here's what our new revised thinking is. It'll be over southwest Louisiana coming up late Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. I think we could see, kind of adjusted everything a little bit later. Tropical storm force winds could be maybe mid-afternoon here in the Triangle, and that would last through through daybreak. Hurricane winds could be in through the Triangle between about 9 and 3 a.m. and then in the lakes area between about 11 p.m. Wednesday and 5 a.m. Thursday. So we're going to move it from south to north. So we'll see improving weather for the triangle after about 3 a.m., if not sooner. Wind speeds, this is the latest information. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, 70 to 80, that has not changed. Wind gusts possible within southeast Texas as that all spreads on off towards the north. Our forecast for tomorrow, 40 to 50% coverage possible. Again, I really want to go higher on wind speeds right now as far as wind gusts. I'm going to keep it at 85, but I think we could see Wednesday, this is mainly Wednesday night, sustained winds of 50, maybe 60 with some gusts of 85. Again, that's not going to be all night, but a good portion of the night. I'd say after about 8, 9 through about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And then by daybreak Thursday, winds are still going to be gusty, but we'll see rapid improvement as the storm moves through our area and off to the north. We'll be left with a very tropical air mass over southeast Texas, so we'll still see scattered afternoon showers and storms as we head into late this next week and also the weekend.
You know, you never want to see a storm approach your area, but we know what it feels like to have one just sit over us. So it is good to hear that this one plans to get in and get out.
No stalling.
Good.
This is going to move,
Good
okay?
stuff.
So this is going to be more of a wind event. If it's further to the west, then we got problems with storm surge. But right now, it's wind.
All righty. Thank you so much, Patrick.